The Minnesota Timberwolves winning the play-in game only to get clowned was brutal. When that happened, my first thought was, dang, that kind of sucks. Really hope that doesn't happen to us if we win our play-in game to advance into the playoffs also.
Oh, come on, man. Minnesota, downtown Minnesota going crazy right now, Kenny.
I'll tell you that right now.
You know what I miss? You know what I miss after that celebration, them playing. We are the champions.
Now, don't get me wrong, some of the jokes were funny and all of that stuff, but man, I felt bad. Now, Pat Bev might have deserved it. I'm not going to defend him after how he acted after the season.
Oh. Man, ain't nobody worried about Chris Paul when he play Phoenix Suns. You know what you do with cones? Like when in the summertime, you got a cone, you make a move. What does the cone do?
Stay still.
Exactly. He's a cone. Stop playing, man.
Even if I did find him to be a well-spoken and entertaining villain. Guys, am I tripping or is Pat Bev really good at this media stuff? Let me know down in the comments below if I'm tripping, because honestly, I might be tripping. But yeah, when it came to everybody else, especially Cat, I was just happy to see them happy. If anything, the Timberwolves being emotional after that game showed that the play-in was at least semi-successful. Screw that, it was a massive success. Now, one of the things that I've wanted to do on my channel is start letting some of my bolder takes go. After winning in the play-in, I thought that the Timberwolves had this series against Memphis in the bag once things got going, or at least had the ability to take it to 7. We all know that if you can get a series to 7 games, then anything can happen. And look, I know how tough Memphis is. I guess you can just say that I believed in Minnesota a ridiculous amount. Given their ability to generate mismatches and having an evolving superstar in Anthony Edwards. Unfortunately, the series would only go to 6, and there would be a number of disappointing performances across the board, and maybe none more disappointing than the one from D'Angelo Russell, given how good D'Lo is supposed to be. In Game 6, D'Lo went 3 of 7 from the field for 7 points and 4 turnovers en route to being benched. When Russell was asked if he was okay with watching the closing moments from the bench, he said no, not at all. He wanted to be out there, which as a competitor, he should. I talked about Draymond being benched a few videos ago, and he had the same sentiment. Curry even said himself that he doesn't want a player that's okay with being benched. Russell being benched in a must-win Game 6 isn't the biggest deal of all time, but it's a deal nonetheless. This was supposed to be one of your franchise cornerstones. Russell was ineffective for most of the series, averaging 12 points per game on 33% from the field. While that percentage is bad, his decision-making was even worse. Now, I don't want to be too down on D'Lo because bad series happen from time to time. He wasn't the only Minnesota Timberwolf that struggled or didn't display the highest basketball IQ. I think D'Lo is somebody that hasn't played their most meaningful basketball. Though D'Lo has seen his usage rate fall every year since the 2018-2019 season, Russell is still only 26 years old and coming off of a year where he averaged 18.1 points and 7 assists. Although the efficiency could be better, there's still some promise that surrounds D'Lo. But with that promise, there are of course some questions. Like, what does the future in Mini look like? And does he even have a future in Mini? May 13th, 2021, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore would overtake the Timberwolves as owners, and in their short time with the team, we've already seen a number of moves, including the opening of their checkbook for former highly regarded Nuggets president Tim Connolly. While I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of some of Connolly's roster moves, he's shown an unnatural knack for finding talent. The drafting of Nikola Jokic speaks for itself, as does Jamal Murray. I really wanted to include MPJ, but the reasons that he fell were obvious. It was all about taking a gamble, and again, these are just some of the bigger names. Bones Highland and Zeke Nnaji have also shown a ton of promise. Look, I can go on. The guy's got a resume. When Connolly would be asked during his introductory press conference about his impressions of Karl Anthony Towns and the long-term future of D'Angelo Russell in Minnesota, he would say that, "I think Cat is one of the most talented guys in the NBA. He's got a relentless work ethic. He's probably the best shooting big in the NBA. I'm getting to know him. I don't know him well. I look forward to getting to know him better. We've talked briefly, but talking to everyone in this building, they speak highly of his work ethic, how he treats people. His productivity speaks for itself. I think the best thing we can give Cat is stability. He's a guy that's seen a lot of different faces on the sidelines, a lot of faces in the front office. I think that with stability, you'll see a better version of himself. D'Lo had a wonderful year. His big shot making ability allowed this team to win 46 games, and he's a guy that can streak score with the best of them. so I don't know how or what our roster will look like going forward, but certainly this team doesn't win 46 games without the contributions of both of them. This was a pretty straightforward press conference from Connolly, who made it clear that keeping D'Lo has upside in the form of stability, while also making it clear that at the same time there are going to be some moves that are going to be made. Let's be real, you don't give an executive $40 million to stay the course. I imagine that we see some shaking up of the Wolves roster fairly soon. Maybe that's why we've been seeing reports from Kevin O'Connor that D'Angelo Russell is apparently being shopped around by the Minnesota Timberwolves. When reports of Russell getting shopped became public, Russell would tweet out, "Hey world, I'm going shopping." He'd later delete the tweet, which I was kind of disappointed about because I thought that response was pretty funny. It definitely didn't give off Eric Bledsoe I don't want to be here vibes, but it was funny nonetheless. I think that D'Lo still does want to be in Minnesota. He's playing alongside his boy Karl Anthony Towns, and the Wolves are a young ascending team with a lot of talent. I don't think that it's necessarily that the Timberwolves really don't want D'Lo. I think they're just doing their due diligence and seeing if an upgrade is available. After all, this is somebody that's due $31 million in the 2022-2023 season. Russell's $31 million due in 2022-2023 would mark the final year of his contract, which, that's right, at worst makes D'Angelo Russell an expiring contract for a team looking to shed cap space. I'm sure the Timberwolves have some general idea of what D'Angelo Russell might be looking for. If they don't feel that they're going to be able to match what D'Angelo Russell wants, shopping him right now makes a lot of sense. Trading him for something is always better than letting him go for nothing. Then again, at the same time, you do wish his value was higher. If the Timberwolves were to trade D'Lo, I just hope that he'd go to a good basketball situation or a situation that makes sense for himself. I don't want to see a Brooklyn Nets situation again where he comes in and feels like he's a part of something special and then boom, the next thing you know, he's gone. I don't want to see another Los Angeles Laker or Golden State situation either. The Lakers situation speaks for itself, but Golden State, speaking on that one, is a whole different topic. When D'Lo was in Golden State, he made it clear that at that point in time, he just wanted somewhere to embrace and an NBA city to call home. Unfortunately for him, the NBA can be an unforgiving business, and we may be seeing that side of the business yet again. This is probably a sadly dumb question from somebody that really doesn't believe that there are any dumb questions. But Timberwolves fans, would you do the D'Lo and Wiggins trade again? Without D'Lo, maybe you don't make the playoffs this season. Let's just say you don't, to which I would ask, how valuable do you think that this playoff experience was? Was it worth Andrew Wiggins and the picks? There's probably going to be an overload of recency bias here, so I do apologize for setting you guys up for this one, but I'm genuinely curious to see the responses and the discussions that they generate. In the comments below, let me know what you think of everything going on. What team do you think could use D'Angelo Russell? What do you think that his next contract is going to look like? Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GETLIKECOOP, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.